It is Indiana in the Morning. It is Indiana in the Morning, presented by First Commonwealth Bank, and it's AM 1160 WCCS and 101.1 FM. And he is Pastor Chris Massey. The Kinport Assembly of God Church is getting set for back to school, just like moms and dads everywhere, school administrators, teachers, and bus drivers. So are families in another way, and the church family at Kinport Assembly of God is helping to sort of ease that transition into school. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's good to have you with us here today.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, we're glad that you have an effort like this going underway. Yours is not the only church doing things like this. It's really interesting to watch how the faith community gets up and gets ready for school.
It's become quite widespread. I know there are a couple ladies in our church who had this on their hearts to start back in 2000. And from what I know at that point, it was about the only church that was doing it. And it's just been awesome to see that over the years, more and more have gotten on board with it, and seeing it's an opportunity to meet a need. And it's really awesome to see the people come together and all the different churches acting as one. It's really awesome.
Yeah. So tell me the details on this year's giveaway at the Kinport Assembly of God Church.
Well, like I said, with starting in 2000, this is our 17th year, and it's expanded almost every year. But it'll start at 9 o'clock in the morning this Saturday on the 12th. And we'll have registration at 8 a.m. We have all kinds of stuff outside for the kids. We used to have them just stand in line and wait with their families, but we'd have lines that would last 2 hours long. So we decided to put up bounce houses and face painting and all kinds of stuff just to make it really entertaining for the kids, because kids don't like shopping any more than anybody else does. So we bring them in and just introduce ourselves. It's a great chance. We get to pray for the students and just pray that they have a great year. And then we have a lot of things that we give away. We give each student a new backpack, a new coat or hoodie, their choice, a new pair of shoes, new socks, new underwear, some hygiene items. And then throughout the year, we collect a lot of gently used clothing, and we sort through that to make sure it's really good stuff. And we sort it by size and gender. We have that all out as well. We let families select from those things, and everything is free. And then we give everyone in the family a bagged lunch on the way out to send them on their way home. Now,
are there guidelines for families in terms of income eligibility or any other qualification?
Nope, not at all. I mean, if they tell us they need it and they come, and then we're going to serve them. You know, that we love to be able to do that. We don't want to clutter that with all the guidelines of whether or not they deserve it or not. If they say they need it, we want to bless them.
Yeah, well, my goodness, it sounds like it's just a wonderful event that has evolved into something that turns into something the kids will really look forward to.
Well, I know my kids do. I have 7, 8, and 9-year-old, and every year when we set up those bounce houses, that's their favorite part. But it's just great to see all the kids get out there and do that, and popcorn and fun. I mean, it makes a mess, but it's a great mess just to see everybody there. And we typically have between 350 to 400 students that we serve every year. And it's just awesome to be able to meet that need. We have great community partners. The Bork Foundation has always come alongside us, and we have a lot of different people in the community. The Indiana Rotary Club has sponsored us this year, and we get a lot of funding from all of those different organizations. They make it possible, and we're just the ones who are kind of facilitating it.
Pastor Chris Massey with us from the Kinport Assembly of God Church. Now, you have a wonderful online presence that really highlights the church itself. For folks who don't know about the church, where is it? How do people get there? And what are some of the wonderful things about working there?
I mean, I always tell people we're a couple miles past the middle of nowhere. But most people know where the Cookport Fairgrounds is. I mean, that's kind of a bigger thing, and it's on Route 240 going into Cherry Tree. And that's where we're at. We're on Route 240 there, big brick building. And we have a large metal building. That's our new addition that is attached to it. We opened a new sanctuary back in 2015. It seats about 450, and it's the great things are going on there. Great people, great community. And we're just really encouraged by all the things that have taken place, that have transpired. And we'd love to invite anybody. I mean, it's a little bit of a drive from Indiana. But if you're out more towards that area in the Cherry Tree, Cookport area, it's certainly something that I would hope would bless your family. We'd love to have you be there.
Yeah. Well, you've been there how long?
It'll be 5 years this October. We came in 2012.
Yeah. Well, tell me about the church family. You've got probably a very active congregation. You must in order to do something like this.
It was one of the things that really impressed us when we first came to the church was about this time of year to do our first candidating at the church. And it was the day of this giveaway. And for a prospective pastor to walk in and see a group of people who were just organized and wanted so badly to give back to the community, boy, my eyes just lit up, and I was really excited to be a part of that kind of a church body and that kind of community. And they are great people. I mean, just love them. Everybody's treated us like family since we've been here. And we moved from the other side of the state near Philadelphia. And they're fantastic. I have no complaints whatsoever.
Did you discard the Eagles and the Flyers and the Phillies?
I have to say I'm a Denver Broncos fan, and that doesn't always sit well with all my Steelers congregation. But they've been gracious, and it provides great sport for all of us to kind of chide each other throughout the season, especially when we play each other.
Yeah, I would guess. And each team has had their share of ups and downs against the others.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Most recently, I think you came out on top,
We
didn't you?
We did, and it's nice to be able to ride that wave while it lasts. And I don't really get anywhere because anytime I bring up sports whatsoever, my congregation, they always just hold up 6 fingers and they say, we've got 6. What have you done? So
there you go. There you go. They put you in your place, huh?
They do.
Yeah. Well, terrific. How many people are involved in the effort coming up on Saturday?
We'll probably have between 30 and 40 volunteers.
Really?
Who will be there to be a part of that. And also throughout the week this week is when we're doing all the setup and sorting through the clothing. And like I said, we just want to make sure that everything we're giving to people is quality stuff, even if it is used. We don't want to give stuff that's got holes or stains and all of those things in them. So they do that this week. And then Saturday, usually, and I was shocked by this my first year there, I live just behind the church, and I got up at 6 in the morning that day to go down to the church. There were already people lined up. Down at the church waiting to get in and be a part of this. But yeah, we'll have a great group of volunteers down there, and they'll be very noticeable, and would love to just serve anybody who comes. It's really awesome.
Pastor Chris Massey with us, the Kinport Assembly of God Church. Now, you mentioned some of the folks who have come along to help, like the Rotaries and the other organizations that have helped you, and the donations of some of the used clothing items. I would guess that you have to begin very early in the year accepting donations.
It's amazing. The secretary at our church, Tina, she is fantastic. She always keeps a little money left over at the end because she knows as soon as January hits, she's got to start buying coats again for next year. And because we always do that, we go to when the season has gone out and all those things go on sale, that's when we go in and try to purchase all those things at a low price. So yeah, it starts pretty much in January is when it's going to start again. We'll start buying coats. We'll start buying shoes throughout the year. The backpacks. It never stops.
Yeah, and the looks on the kids' faces just must be treasures.
It is really awesome. I have to admit it's a stressful week for me and for all of us as we're getting ready for it. Last week I had this little girl. She must have been 6, 7 years old, and she brought a hand-drawn picture and a card that she handed to me, and it said thank you in it. And she hugged my leg. And she said, "Thank you so much for my new backpack." And I was like, "Well, it's stuff like that makes it worthwhile." There are kids who, and we've had volunteers who've shared this, that kids who've never had a new pair of shoes before, they've always been hand-me-downs or used, or never had a new coat. And that joy of being able to give that to a kid who's never had that before, it's really quite an experience.
Probably a tear or two shed by moms and dads and grandmas too.
Absolutely, and this guy.
And that guy right over there. All right, so once more, give the details for Saturday's event.
So it'll be this Saturday. Registration will start at 8 a.m. The event itself will open at 9 a.m., and we typically run it in groups of 20 families at a time that we'll go through. And we get you through pretty quickly. I mean, in the meantime, while you're waiting, after you've registered, you don't have to stand in line. Kids can go play in the bounce houses, eat popcorn, get drinks, get faces painted, all that stuff. But then our doors will open at 9. We'll be open from 9 to 1. And any family that comes, we're going to serve.
Appreciate you coming in today.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
It sounds like it's going to be a wonderful event, and everybody's invited. Pastor Chris Massey with us here this morning. It is Indiana in the Morning, presented by First Commonwealth Bank on AM 1160 WCCS and 101.1 FM.